Today we have a very short video on accepting and using feedback on creative work. First, I know that it can be very hard to accept that your work can improve. You worked really hard on it and you want to think that it's perfect, but it's important to remember that any creative work can always be improved. I don't think I've read anything that was entirely perfect. And that's going for published work, for professional writing, as well as for student work. Everything has something that could be made better. So while I know that the first time someone gives you critical feedback on your work, your impression, or your first impulse might be to say you should be grateful to them for their feedback if they're telling you things that can be improved. Always remember that you are new at this. You're mostly young people, and you have time to get better, and everything that you have coming at you that's going to help you get better is going to be good. So it's also important to remember that your reader isn't inside your head. When you're getting feedback, know that they can't possibly know what you were thinking when you were writing it. They should be working to figure out what the speaker is thinking, and they should be trying to help you out, but they can't know that. And also, you can't explain your work to them. If you publish this in a journal or something, you can't go around to everyone who reads the Southern Quarterly Review and who reads your poem that you published in there. You can't go around to all the readers and say, hey, look, no, this is what I was thinking. Well, if you look at this line, then you'll understand this. You can't do that. So if your reader doesn't understand something and your goal is to communicate emotion in your poetry, then when they're giving you that feedback that they don't understand or that something is unclear, that's going to help you know what you have to change to get closer to that goal. That lets you know how you can improve things. So when you get that feedback, it's important for you to take notes. And this is part of your reflection process, is to take notes on things and to then think about how the feedback works with your vision of the poem, because it is still yours. So if your reader is saying, well, this is what I understood of the poem and it's something totally different, you know that you're going to have to change something to make it more clear, or maybe to help guide the reader toward the emotion that you wanted them to get. And if they say something like, well, I think it would be cool if, they were actually a donkey and they were killing the cat in the road, that's not what you were writing about. You don't have to change things to do what the reader wants you to do. You do need to change things to make it more clear, to guide the reader toward your idea of what the poem should be about. So once you have that feedback, and once you've thought about how the feedback works with your vision of the poem, you should sketch a plan of action, a way to revise things, to make it more clear, to make it more powerful, more full of emotion, more full of visual imagery, or whatever kind of imagery, to make the lines more powerful, have more impact, to work on the rhyme scheme if you're using that, stuff like that. And then it's important to set it aside. So you're doing this reflection, you're going to get feedback from me after you complete the reflection. Take a look at that, think about how you might revise, and then walk away. You have until the end of the semester to do a revision on this, and walking away is important to give you fresh eyes on your project, which is something I'm going to talk about in a future lecture on revision. So here are some takeaways from the video. First, remember that feedback isn't personal. Your readers aren't criticizing you. If they're giving you criticism, they're talking about your poetry, and that's always going to be helpful. Think about your audience when you're getting feedback and when you're working on revision. Remember that you are not your readers. Your readers aren't in your head. You have to communicate to them the emotion and the events that are happening in your narrative poem. And then once you have feedback, it's important to walk away for a while, because that's going to give you fresh eyes, your own fresh eyes on the work of art. And it's going to let you come at it anew. And you do have time to do that. You have a few months to revise this. So that's it. Thanks for watching. And let me know if you have any questions.